Hi there and welcome. In today's video I'm going to be remaking some lace pants that I've got. I love wearing them, they're comfortable on, and these are the pair in question that I'm going to be making. So they're really easy to make. Now I got some lace from eBay, which was this black lace. Now this is a pair that I've actually made. Just turn that gusset through. And this was £3.70 for 1.5 meters. So that's a beautiful black lace. And then I got the black elastic from Temu. So let's get started and see how I make these. So this is the pair of underwear that I'm taking the pattern off. And you've got 4 quarters of lace, all the same size. So all I need to do is take 1/4 for the pattern. It's got some, it's like a jersey gusset, and I've already cut a piece of black gusset out of some jersey fabric that I've already got. So I just simply took the measurement of that, put it onto the fabric and then cut it out. But I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do now is turn it inside out so I can take the pattern off 1/4. Right, so let me just get it folded so that it is. And it's just cotton. This is just cotton curtain lining that I'm actually used to take to put the pattern onto. Right, so the join is there. So let me just get some tailor's chalk. I'm just going to allow a little bit at the bottom for that, you know, where I'm going to be joining it to the front and back. Not much because it's just the width of the overlocking, and I'm not going to be putting any seam allowance on here because, in fact, actually that's a tiny seam allowance. Mine's a thicker stitch than that, so I'm going to allow a little bit just for the seam allowance, how thick my overlocking is. Okay, now I'm just going to follow that there, and then just keep moving this as I'm actually going up. To where the scallops is on the lace, I'm just coming to the edge of that. And then again there, just a tiny bit of seam allowance. It's going to come inside that elastic. There we go. That can go. Bring that across there. That across there. And then I've got my shape. I'm just going to put a G on that to say that it's the gusset, because it's very similar. Not much difference in that. That's a little bit wider, but not a lot. Right, so let's get my lace then, which is going to be, I'm going to make it with this beautiful black lace that I got from eBay. So I'm just looking, because you can tell which is the right way and which is the wrong way on that. So I'm going to cut these out one piece at a time. Right, so let's have a look at this then. Right, so this is where the scallop needs to be. It might be a little bit wider there, but that should be okay. I'm laying that flat, bring that a little bit in there. Right, so none of this is going to be cut. So that's going to actually be a bit wider when it's just coming onto the cheek. Right. So that's the first piece. So now I need to cut the second piece. So I'm coming to the opposite side And I'm just going to try and pattern match that. Right, so I'm going to come across here, cut that and that. Right, so that is either a front or back, because like I said, they are the same size pieces. So I'm going to cut two more, but I'm going to do it off camera. I've got the front and back cut. So the narrow bits, which is the crutch area, I've put together, and then I'm just going to fold that over and I'm going to clip that. Just put two clips in it, one at the bottom and one at the top. So it's going to be a case of overlocking that. The same on this one. That's two overlocked. This needs overlocking all the way around. I've already gone ahead and cut the elastic. Get that stitch going, and then I'm just going to try it on a sample piece first. Okay, inside so it's a good. Yep, that's great. Right, so let's get this show on the road, as I say. I'm not cutting nothing off this. I'm just stitching up to that edge. Okay, I'm then going to open that up. Open this up. Oh, that's a bit tight in the centre there. Let's just pull that so that, yeah. And I'm going to open this one up and put right sides together to stitch that gusset area. And where the overlocking is, I'm going to put one facing one way and one facing the opposite way, so it's not too thick. Right, so that is the gusset area. Right, so let me just get this jersey, and then I'm going to, let me see if I can see which is the right way and the wrong way. I think this is the right way. Just overlock around this. Yeah, so it's just stitching the sides up and then stitching the elastic on. Getting that side together. Right, so what I'm going to do now then, make sure that that's okay, and it is I'm just going to get this elastic and stitch that together. Right, so what I need to do now then with the elastic is I need to make quarters. So I've got one there, fold that in half. One, two. Then this is going to be, right, so I need to overlock around. Now let's have a look, because if I put the elastic on, like so, if I overlock that and then put it down, top stitch that on it, because that's actually top stitched there, because I think this is done on a cover stitch machine because you've got it overlocked and then you've got your double stitch in there, so that's on a cover stitch machine. But I think if I overlock that and then maybe top stitch it on, I'm going to get the same result. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's get this overlocked. Yeah, I'm going to stitch it with the wrong side facing up, so when this is stitched onto the elastic, it'll be the neater overlocking showing on the inside. Right, so let me get this clipped with the, so I'm going to put this the seam on that to one of the seams and clip that in place. Right, so then I'm going to get the other clip and line that up with the other seam. Right, then let me get the other one and clip that to the other seam, because obviously I've got 4 seams, so I've got my 4 quarters. There. Right, so let me just get the juke set up. Right, so I'm going to start by putting the elastic in place. Don't really matter where I start, but I think I'm going to stitch on the back, and I'm going to aim to stitch just underneath where that overlocking is. Right, so let me take that clip out. Right, so I'm going to just back tack there, needle in, so I can just gently pull this so that it's stretching out and fitting perfectly. I'm actually using this part of my hand here to pull that down a little bit and hold it in place so it doesn't go over and it doesn't come under. Right, now I just want to get that overlocking stitched in there. And I'm just going to back tack over that, and that's just securing that overlocking down in place. Back tack at the end. I'm going to bring that overlocking down. In fact, let me just secure that onto plastic. Now let's have a look where that join is. That's there. Right, so I'm going to just stitch that elastic down there, and then I'm going to come onto that lace and just stitch the end. So I'm going to get where this lace is here on the elastic, I'm going to run this part of the lace down this side of the foot, so it's on the inside of the foot, and using that as my guideline. Right, so that's nice and neat on the inside, and it's nice and neat on the outside. So what I need to do now then is put the gusset piece in. Right, so let's, and I'm going to make sure that the overlocking is going to be underneath, but I'm going to make sure that the small tails are not big. Right, so let me just find out where the centre of that is. Just there in the centre. So I know that that is going on that line. Right, so the overlocking that's on the side, I'm going to make sure that that goes inside as well. And I'm going to stitch in the centre of the overlocking, coming round this. Tuck that overlocking in, making sure that it's centre to that centre seam. Now you can pin this in position, guys, if you're not comfortable just doing it freehand like I'm doing it. Right, and then these overlocking, I'm just going to fetch that over and secure that in place. Just get that other side done as well, because it is tucked in the thing, but it just needs stitching on that seam as well. Right, so that is the gusset in. I haven't secured these overlocking, I need to do these as well. So that's all neat and tidy. Go to the other side. Over again. Stitching that down and securing it. Right, so let's have a chat about how it went. When I come to trying them on, when they were finished like this lace has not got the same amount of stretch as what the navy has. So when I come to try these on, the cotton was snapping because I was having to overstretch them to put them on. So I'm going to restitch that waist, and then I'm going to actually give these to my eldest daughter, Paige. I might have to downsize them for her, but these are far too tight for me to get on. So what I ended up doing was, I didn't have enough to make a pair in black on both sides, but I got some lace from Temu. So what I've done is, I've got red on one side and black on the other. And what I did was, I allowed an extra inch on the hips. So that's given me 4 inch, because on each piece I allowed an extra inch. Then what I did was try them on before the elastic was ready to go on. And then I did have to downsize them twice to get the perfect fit. And then the elastic, I did make that slightly bigger, probably by maybe 1.5 inches. I just made sure that it was coming over my hips without me having to overstretch it. But these fit me perfect now. Now, when I got this lace from Temu, there wasn't enough to make a pair front and back the same colour. I've got 3 more pieces of lace from Temu, but I'm going to do them like I've done these. So I'll have one colour on one side and one colour on another. You could do them like, what do they call it when, like if I had red, black, there's a name for it, but I can't think what they call it. Harlequin, isn't it? Like a Harlequin effect. You could do that, but the Temu lace has got more stretch than what this black lace has. So it's hard getting it right with stretch fabrics, because if they're the same stretch, there'd be no problem. You can take them to the pattern and it'd be fine. Now, the other thing what I did was, I did the gusset a little bit too wide on these. So you can just see there that they're actually too wide. So I actually narrowed them down on this pair. Another thing to bear in mind is, when you're doing things like this, is because I've got red and black, you can see here I've got red cotton. I've got a black gusset, but I've got red cotton underneath. And on the black, I've done black cotton on the back and inside. And on the waist, I've got black thread on the outside and red thread on the inside. And that is just giving you your professional finish to a pair of pants, knickers, whatever you want to call them. So I am going to be making the others up, because I've got a purple, a green and a blue, but I'm going to have to mix and match like these. So this is one pair where I've put the green on the back, black elastic on the waist, and then I've done purple on And the reason I've done that, like I said, is because there wasn't enough fabric to do these colours front and back. And then on the other one, I've got a pale blue, so I've done either the front or back because I've put the seam on the elastic to the side. So that is either the front or back, and then I've got a red and a purple just to use the lace up. And then obviously I've got this one again, which is just red and then black. But these are cut to the original pattern, and because the elastic is more stretch, the fit perfect. Didn't have to do any alterations, didn't have to make them bigger, cut them to the pattern, and the fit perfect like the original pattern that I took the pattern off. Because these are the same size quarters, you could wear them front and back. Now, yeah, the back has got this joining, but you could still wear them, you know, whichever colour you wanted to wear on the front. But I would say that for underwear, the Temu lace is certainly better, but they're just not long enough pieces. And I think there was £1.79, I think, for a metre. So you'd have to buy 2 to get a full pair of knickers. So you can see it's easy enough to make, well easy enough to make. It's just getting your size right. So I hope you've enjoyed this little remake, guys. So thanks for joining me. Take care for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.